Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are back here doing another episode prediction for Fear the Walking Dead, this week's up-and-coming episode. This is Season 2, Episode 10, entitled Do Not Disturb. Okay, so as always, I'm going to go ahead and go over the synopsis of the episode. You guys, of course, can follow along on AMC.com. The synopsis is as follows. Travis struggles to connect with Chris while searching for shelter. Meanwhile, Alicia meets a lonely woman with a bloody past. Okay, so this doesn't really tell us much. I mean, it tells us who is going to be in this episode, you know, and what we've seen from the sneak peek and the promo for this episode, of course, which, by the way, you guys can watch both of those in the description below. I will leave a link down there for you guys to watch both of those. And judging by those alone, we can see that this episode is most likely going to be mainly about Travis and Alicia. So we haven't really seen too much of Alicia. I'm glad we're going to get to see, you know, more of a central episode around her this time, because I really do like her character. I love the actor as well. She was amazing on the 100, if you guys watch that show. If not, we're just going to breeze past it. But anyways, I do like the actor, and I'm glad that she's on Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm just interested to see more of her character all the way around. And of course, this half of the season, we actually haven't seen anything from Travis or Chris as of yet, because they obviously broke off, you know, by themselves. Travis had to go off with his son Chris because Chris was just dangerous, and he just needed to give his son, you know, some time with him alone, without anybody else, and not putting anybody in It makes sense, you know, if you think about it. But at the same time, his kid's obviously going batshit crazy, so I don't know. I think I would probably just put him out of his misery. I'm kidding. If it was my son, no, I'd probably do the same thing. Maybe not separate from my group, but definitely take a path, you know, alone, maybe separate from Madison, and, you know, just sort of give my son more time than Travis used to do while he was on the boat and with Madison and everything like that. And, yeah, I don't know. With that being said, this episode's mainly going to be about Travis, Chris, and Alicia. Of course, two separate groups, and, you know, we're going to have two separate run-ins, okay? With different characters, in my opinion. Because in the promo, we actually get to see Alicia run into some people, and she says, you know, where is she? Where are they? And we obviously know that she's talking to some strangers. We don't know who she's talking to, but she definitely runs into a group, so she has an altercation with humans. As well, in the exact same promo, we actually get to see Travis and Chris basically having a campfire, and Chris comes back and says, someone's coming. They stomp out the fire, and it looks like they tried to hide. And it looks like this group, whoever they may be, whether they be bad, good, I don't know, they definitely find them, okay? So, and it doesn't look like a pretty altercation with Travis and the other people that he meets up with. Because at the end of the promo, we actually get to see Travis sort of trying to defuse a situation or something by saying no. And a gun comes out from, you know, the side of Travis's head, you know, in frame, obviously, not actually. Yeah, anyway, and somebody pulls a trigger. I don't know who that was, but someone definitely died, okay? Or maybe they saved somebody from a zombie. Who knows? We don't really see much of the scene, but he definitely has a heated altercation with another group, and he's trying to defuse a situation at the end of the promo. I'm not really sure what's going on there, so that's definitely something to take from it. You know, he's definitely going to have some sort of a heated altercation with somebody. You know, he's not going to be saying no to a zombie. You know, don't attack my son. You know, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work unless he's just that stupid, which I don't think that he is. But who knows? I guess there's a lot of stupid people in Mexico, apparently, according to this show. Like, there's lots of people who just believe some silly things, you know, to do with the dead and the zombies and stuff, right? Now, mainly in this promo, like I said, we mainly get to see Alicia and Travis, and that's pretty much it. Of course, Chris is with Travis, but I'm saying his group, which is just him and his son. But what I'm mainly interested in seeing here is Alicia, because at the end of last episode, she was stuck in a room alone. And according to this promo, some zombies enter her room. She starts killing them off, stabbing through the, you know, head and everything like that with some sort of a knife. And she backs up against the window. There's a ton of zombies coming through the front door, and she's pinned against the wall. And she's actually going to have to get bloody. She's going to have to fight. Unless somebody comes to her rescue, I don't know. But either way, it looks pretty good for Alicia, right? So I think it's going to definitely develop her character into more of a, you know, survivalist, I guess. Which is definitely interesting, because so far she's mainly relied on, you know, her peers to sort of get her through some things. And I'm definitely glad that she's sort of taking on this survival aspect to it, you know. she obviously ran into an unfortunate situation where she has to actually defend herself, which I think that is only going to be for the good unless she dies. And obviously that wouldn't be good, but at the same time, if she does survive, she's obviously went through an experience and she'll be able to do that pretty much from now on, and she can rely on her own, instincts and stuff. So I'm definitely glad that that's happening. I just hope that she doesn't die, because I'm just starting to like her character. I mean, I've kind of liked her the whole time, but she's just sort of been in the background, just sort of there. Hasn't really taken a main role, so I'm happy that she maybe is starting to. I think that eventually everybody in the core group will eventually get like a main role and, be a key part to the group surviving. They save each other all the time, just like Rick's group does, right? They eventually developed. There was some people that were sort of useless in Rick's main group back in like season 1 and season 2. Like, for example, back then, Carol, she was just pretty much a burden. I mean, I hate to be honest, but that's what she was. She wasn't developed into a survivor. Of course, we have some other ones as well, like kids. Carl, he was always a burden, stay in the house, stuff like that. Now he's a pretty key part to the group, in my opinion. I think he's a great addition to the group. In like season 4 onwards, I'd say. Season 3, he was still a bit annoying. He started his progression there by killing his mom and just being an absolute all-around savage. And, I don't know. I think people are definitely going to start, earning their badge, or, their stripes, if you will, within this group. And I'm definitely excited to see that. So with the promo being out of the way, because that's pretty much all we've got to see, there's obviously been, like, really quick clips that we're not going to really go into detail with, because they really haven't told us anything. We just know that she comes across a group, asks them if she knows where she is or they are, which we can assume she's obviously talking about her mother and her group, Strand and Ophelia. And then we have Travis obviously coming against a group, which we don't really know too much about. We see them briefly coming through, the sandy beachy area where Travis and Chris were having that campfire, and that's pretty much it. Just at the end of the promo, we see them in an altercation, and Travis is trying to defuse something, and it doesn't look like it ends well, okay? I'll just say that. Now, to get into the sneak peek for this week's up-and-coming episode of Fear the Walking Dead, again, you guys can check out the sneak peek in the description below. I'll put a link down there. We have a very quick clip. I mean, it was like 1 minute and 30, so it's a relatively decent-sized sneak peek, but there's not a lot that happens. Alicia is sort of just coming out of her room, probably near the start of the episode, if I were to assume correctly, and she turns to the right, starts going down that side of the hallway, sees some walkers that way, so walkers are closing in on her from the right, and obviously if there's walkers there, you go to the left, right? So she goes to the left, she starts running down the hallway, calling for Ophelia, trying to find her. Again, what happened with Ophelia? We have no idea. Did she kill herself? I mean, they had a poll back on Talking Dead. Did she kill herself? Or, did she maybe just hide? Or did she run away? What happened with Ophelia? We have no idea. So that's definitely something we want to find out. Whether or not we will in this episode, that remains to be seen, because there's a lot of characters that we don't really know too much about what happened with them. Like Daniel, for example. I don't think he's dead, but where the fuck is he? Anyway, we have Alicia running down the hallway, obviously screaming for Ophelia, trying to find her, wondering where she is, because they have to stick together in order to survive. It obviously has a better chance for that happening. And she runs into some other infected, or zombies, or walkers, whatever the hell you want to call them. They call them infected. And she runs into more of them coming down the left side. So now she turns around. There's walkers coming from the right side still. So she's basically getting pinned inside of a hallway. She resorts to the only thing that she can pretty much do, because all of the rooms are locked. She tries to open an elevator. Okay? So she pries open the doors of the elevator, which, by the way, is not really easy to do. So she's definitely got some strength. She opens the doors of the elevator, looks down. The elevator's obviously not on that floor. Luckily, because if it was on the floor, I can't imagine that there'd be power, so the elevator would not work anyway, and then she'd just be stuck in the elevator and ultimately die. But she opens the elevator doors, she sees that the elevator is down, and the only thing that she can do, because the walkers are closing in on her, is jump to the, whatever you want to call them, cords, cables, I don't know, the cables that hold up the elevator in the middle. So she jumps to those. She obviously hesitates first, because that would be pretty fucking scary in my opinion. There's obviously no ladder there on the wall or anything. I mean, there probably is somewhere, but maybe she didn't want to look for that. I don't know. I mean, there were walkers like closing in on her, so I don't really blame her for not taking time to just scope it out and look for a ladder or something, because there's usually like a maintenance, sort of ladder on the side of the elevator shafts and stuff, but she didn't look for that, and she jumped to the cables, and then at the end of the sneak peek, she's basically hanging on the cables, and walkers are basically reaching in at her from the door, and one of them pretty much touches her face with his hand, and it does not look good for Alicia, but I think that's ultimately the way that she gets out of that situation, because personally, if they keep reaching for Alicia, they're gonna fall inside of the elevator shaft and land on top of the elevator, so there's definitely danger there for Alicia, but I think she's pretty much found like a safety spot, okay, is essentially what I think she found, and I'm glad that she did, because with that being said, I think she's pretty much safe. I don't think she's gonna die in this episode. That's not one of my predictions. If she does, I will be surprised, because I think, like I said, she's just starting to earn her stripes by fighting off those zombies inside of the room. Whether or not that happens, before the elevator shaft scene or, after it, we have no idea. But nonetheless, I'm excited for this episode, guys. That's pretty much all we got here for information for this episode. We already read the synopsis, and we already went over the promo and the sneak peek, which, again, links will be down in the description below if you guys want to go check them out. And with that being said, that is the end of my episode predictions, guys. So thank you all so much for watching. And just to remind you guys, I do get my webcam tomorrow, which means from now on, these episode predictions and episode reviews will be held with my webcam, okay? So no more gameplay in the background for these specific videos. I'm going to make them, sort of a reviewing look to it, I guess, like most reviewers do on YouTube. For like TV shows and stuff like that. I'm going to make it like that from now on for my channel. So it's going to be less about the gameplay. The only reason I ever put gameplay over these videos is because I didn't want you guys staring at a black screen. I think it would just be boring, right? That wouldn't be entertaining. But at the same time, people who watch these videos that aren't gamers, don't really want to see gameplay either. Am I correct? Or maybe you do. I have no idea. Either way, they will be held with my webcam, my face cam, whatever you guys want to call it. I'm getting it tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. I'm going to be doing an unboxing and everything tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in that sort of stuff, definitely tune into the channel tomorrow and you guys will see something like that. Go check out my gaming content if you guys do like gaming. If not, don't worry about it. Tune into the channel on Monday and Thursday for my reviews and predictions of Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, of course, when it starts back up. Support the channel in whatever way you can, whether that be a subscription, a like, a comment, it does not matter. Everything helps. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye. Alright, guys, we are back today. Oh, I am the squad leader. Neat. Today we are actually going to be defending the objectives now. If you guys watched, I wanted to say yesterday's video, but if you guys watched the last video, you guys would see that we actually attacked the objectives. So now we have to defend them. Okay, so it's going to be maybe a little bit tougher. It's usually a little bit tougher defending the objectives in my opinion. But nonetheless, I was just going to place 2 straight up games, but I went with 2.